Hello everyone, thanks for joining my video. So this is the second episode of the web coding with Goose. So from last video, we saw how Goose can perform changes autonomously to build up application, simple application. So today in this video, there are three major parts I would like to cover. And the first part is about the project complexity. So to tell you about this Chrome extension project and from the functionality wise, from how many code lines, how many story points are we talking about. So hopefully give you an idea how complex is this project. And then the next part is the most interesting one, is about the cost, how much time it costs, how much tokens, API tokens it consumes, and what is the budget for this project. So you have a realistic ideas to build up such application, how much time, energy you need to prepare for yourself. And the last part is about the feedbacks. So as you may know, I have finished this project, and so about lessons learned, what went well, and what are the potential risks, and for me, what is the next steps, what do I want to do in the next experiment. I have put all the code actually in the GitHub and it's public, so everybody feel free to actually just try it out and reuse any of this code here. And so you would say from here around 10 documents or files has been generated from this project, and I have put together a separate video to talk about the app functionality, and I put the video link here. Check it out if you are interested. And about the size of the project, how about we ask Goose? Let's go. As you can see, the result come up from Goose, and it's quite clear. So if we're looking into the how many lines of code perspective, then in total it's around 350 lines of code. So this gives you another angle of how complex this project is, and the other one is about the story points. So for people who are working in a professional environment with Agile way of working, this is very familiar to you hopefully. And based on the Goose breakdowns, you can see it is being chopped into 6 kind of stories, user stories, and in total the estimation is around 20 story points. So this hopefully give you an idea how big the project is. As you can see here, it is OpenAI dashboard, and because I am now become a kind of enterprise user or business user, let's see, and I'm not using my personal plan anymore, so it is extra on top of my personal plan. The most important thing is in total I spent $5.64, so that is around less than €5 for this project. The second angle is about how long I have been using Goose for this project. So if you can see, I have this chat history, and you can see the earliest date I have been using this one is from October 22, around 1 week. Then I have been using Goose to support the project development. And from homepage, you can see in total I had 22 sessions, and it cost around 3.14 million of tokens. For this project, what I think went well is Goose is well able to understand natural language. I have been impressed by how accurate it can capture my audio input and translate into the text input for Goose to work on. So it is pretty accurate, I would say. And the second highlight is it is quite high autonomy. In a way, I did not need much intervention from myself, so I did not really change code throughout this entire project. I would able to talk with Goose where I went wrong, what are the error code, and copy paste some error code, and so Goose can iterate and continue building. So as you may see the result, so without human intervention, Goose is well able to deliver such project. And the last one, what I would like to highlight is during this interface, I tried mostly with OpenAI module, and sometimes I also tried a little bit with Google Gemini. Maybe there is a learning curve, but anyhow, during my experiment, I experienced Google Gemini is sometimes behaving weird in a way, like sometimes it deletes functionality which might be used for other functionalities. So somehow, perhaps because of OpenAI has been used throughout the project, it knows well what are the codes and the interrelationships. What are the potential risks? So the first one is OpenAI rate limit hit. So if you are new to OpenAI, first of all, when I start up the project, it is actually start with my personal subscription. But soon enough, OpenAI switched to the kind of enterprise tier 1 user for me, so that when there is a request via the API, the credit is charged via my kind of enterprise tier 1 account. I actually receive quite sometimes the limit being hit, so that I need to wait for instance, like 10 seconds to retry. Of course, it is not a big deal for such a small project, but I would understand, or I would imagine, when there is more complexity coming and when there is a much bigger project or request needed, perhaps it is due to my tier 1 user account. If it is to a higher tier, maybe the API limits will be higher, so this kind of scenario can be disappeared. And then the second risk, it is I experience OpenAI cost rising when complexity increases, especially when you need to edit multiple files via Goose, or sometimes you do what I said, retry, and then I do experience like the cost in the dashboard is increasing a little bit quicker than before. I believe it is due to the complexity of the code evolves over time. And the last risks or potential challenges is I do feel like web coding to speed up the prototyping for sure. However, I do feel like there is a need for technical skills. If you are coming from a technical background, you do have a lot of advantage. This is not only in the how quick you can solve the bug or how quick you can work together with Goose, but it's also, I believe, when you create product, it is very important to design the product in a way it is perhaps can be scalable, and to use loose coupled components instead of every functionality is in one big class. So this is the basics. If you are not coming from the technical background, you perhaps will overlook, and then when the code or project evolves, the complexity will overeaten the speed you gained by using Goose. This is my summary, so feel free to leave a comment if you have more experience with it. If you watch this far, I do like to give you some bonus points. So for people who is new to use any of the AI modules, at this moment I think Google offers quite a nice free trial. So as you can see, I have been allocated with 257 euro credits for me to experiment with use Google APIs. So actually you can see I only use like 0.25 cents, and I have been using at least 2 or 3 of the Google API many times. And so you could see actually with this bunch of credits, there is a lot of possibilities you can try, and there is more than 2 months you can build things. So give a try. For the next project, I would love to try 3 new tools, which are the most popular ones according to my understanding. So they are Lovable, Cursor, and Perplexity. So out of 3 are involved with subscription. So I would like to start with free tryout to see which one I would like to stick along with to build my project on top of one of the 3 platforms. Thanks for watching.